Hello, my beautiful baddies. Welcome back to yet another episode of Your Inner Baddie Speaking. I feel like along your journey, like when you're healing, when you're going through all these moments where you feel like you're growing, and sometimes you feel like the progress is minimal, sometimes you feel like you can see it, sometimes you don't. And I don't know, like, have you guys ever felt like you just didn't really know if your progress was showing, if it was making a difference, if anybody could tell? It's like you're doing so much inner work on yourself and you're, trying to better yourself and you're trying to, put yourself in a better position and be that person that you know you're meant to be and feel your most confident, right? But like, do you feel like you notice as much? Do you feel like others notice? I think that's definitely a question that goes through people's minds while they're doing this. Like it went through mine. I definitely felt at certain stages when I was going through really tough times and trying to be more there for myself and show up for myself. I didn't always know if it was noticeable. I didn't always notice it myself. Sometimes I felt like I wasn't making as much progress as I thought I was. Like I was like, I've been working on this for a really long time. I mean, take the mirror method, for example, where it was like I was really trying so very hard to get rid of negative thoughts within my own mind. And it felt like, oh my God, I'm at this mirror again and I'm having to block these negative thoughts again, and I'm having to, rewire again and work hard again. And it's like, when will this end? Or like, when will it become noticeable to myself or to anyone else if it's external work or if it's things that can show up externally, right? Like people can sense when you have more confidence. People can sense when you feel better about yourself, right? But when you're going through so much and you're making so many changes, sometimes it really can feel like, do I even see it? Does anyone see it? Like, am I actually making changes, right? It's kind of like when you go to the gym, right? Let's say you're starting your fitness journey, right? You're like, we'll leave the healing journey to the side. Let's do another little analogy, I guess. Let's talk about what it's like to get into a fitness journey. You kind of start out, let's just say you're at 0, right? You're like, I'm just going to get into this. I'm going to figure out whether yoga, Pilates, weightlifting, cardio, running, whatever it may be, is going to do the thing for me. It's going to be my new routine, right? So you dive in. You try to find something that works for you, right? A lot like a healing journey, you're kind of figuring out what works for you. And you step into it, right? And you try to be consistent with it. And now it's like, okay, I'm 2 weeks of consistent workouts. Now I'm 3 weeks of consistent workouts. Now I'm 4 weeks. And you kind of start going, okay, well, I'm putting in all this work. When am I going to see the results, right? And I feel like if you take that with your healing journey, it can be hard to see those results, right? It can be very hard to see all of the progress that you are making. Same like when you start out with a fitness journey. And they say it takes like, I think it's 8 to 12 weeks before you start noticing. And then it's like after that, other people start noticing, right? And I think that's the same thing with a healing journey is like, not that it's 8 to 12 weeks. Like I'm going to be very upfront and say like, it might not be that short of a time, or maybe it'll be shorter. I don't know. Depends on what you're healing from or what stage of your journey you're at, right? So time may vary, but it's going to take a while before you start to see and feel the changes. Like it took a while for me to feel like, okay, I'm not having to go and walk myself to the mirror as much. That must be a sign that I'm not having as many negative thoughts, or, the negative thoughts that are popping into my mind are less negative, less bad than they used to be. So maybe when I get to the mirror, I'm, trying to say positive things and really reinforce that positive thinking and that positive mindset that I was trying to implement, right? Maybe I don't have to be, it's not as much of an exaggeration between the two. So maybe the negative thought that came out isn't as terrible as it used to be. So my response doesn't have to be as extreme or doesn't feel as disconnected because I've made progress. But sometimes it can feel like, well, I'm still talking to myself in the mirror and having to reinforce positive thoughts because I am still having negative thoughts. So that means I'm not making progress. No, no, no. That means you are making progress in the sense of maybe it's less frequent. Maybe it's not as disconnected, right? So there's different ways of progress. And then by the time you get to the point where you don't even feel like you really need to walk yourself to a mirror as often, maybe that's the point where others start noticing. And I have found that a lot of the times when you feel like giving up or you feel like you're not making much progress, I do feel like if you believe in spirituality and you believe in like the universe and things, which I have brought up that I very much do, I feel like the universe can step in and have something external show you or tell you that you are actually making more progress than you think you are. Like, I think sometimes when you're like, damn, I don't feel like I'm getting past this as fast as I should be, or I feel like I should be making more progress than I have, right? And then someone will come up to you and be like, man, I've just noticed that like you've been in better moods lately. It seems like you're not feeling as down anymore. And maybe that's a reflection. They might not say this last part, but maybe that's a reflection of the fact that you don't have as many negative thoughts, right? So you show up in a better capacity. You show up in a happier capacity. You show up in a capacity that doesn't feel so weighed down. So you can bring more positive energy because you're feeling less negative, right? And others might notice that, right? Others might catch on. Hey, you've been talking a little different. You've been showing up a little different. You've been more the life of the hangout, right? Like maybe you might not see it as much because we tend to be very, very hard on ourselves, right? Like we'll be the first people who will step up and say, hey, you're not doing enough, or you're not healed enough, or oh, I thought we were past that. Why are we still having to do this, right? We'll be the first to jump in and kind of critique where we are or how far we feel like we should be, even though there's really no timeline. And the fact that you're trying to make progress at all is commendable. Like, we should really be patting ourselves on the back. But I understand, like, I am very much the first person that's going to get on my case. Like, if I feel like I slip back into an old habit, or I feel like I'm not making as much progress on something that I've been working on internally, I can get frustrated. I'm the first person that's like, what the hell, Even though I should be the first person to clap for myself. I should be the first person to pat myself on my back. I should be the first person to lift myself up, right? But I'm going to very much recognize that that's not the case most of the time. We get there eventually, and I think the more that you love yourself, the more that you're likely to give yourself your kudos, right? But even then, it's like sometimes because I feel like I've healed from a lot of things, or I have made so much progress in a lot of areas, that I'm not allowed to slip back. I'm not allowed to slip up, or I'm not allowed to be human and not be fucking perfect, right? And even though that is so normal, it is so normal to do that, we can get in our heads about it. And that's why it's so hard if we are the ones being difficult for ourselves and saying, hey, like, I don't know if a lot of progress has been made. Sometimes you really need to hear it from other people. And I think I've said some examples on other podcast episodes, but there's definitely some standouts of I didn't understand that people even noticed me like that. Like, when I was sitting with a friend who we had just started deepening our bond, right? Like, we were very much getting closer, and therefore, we were sharing more of our backgrounds and our stories. And she was a neighbor of mine, and so she knew my ex-husband, right? Or at least knew him in passing. And so she was kind of like, oh, well, I kind of noticed that he wasn't there. Like, what's going on? And because we were getting closer, I felt comfortable to tell her, right? Even though I'm kind of an open book, because I feel like whatever, as per this podcast, like whatever I've gone through could help somebody else. Like, you have no idea what somebody's going to take from your story and your healing and how it's going to impact them. And so when I was telling her, sort of the history and what had happened, and for her to kind of sit there and just say, it's so strange to me to hear this story come from you, because the woman sitting across from me, like, I just can't picture the pain you were in. I can't picture you hurt. I can't picture you in a dark place. I can't picture you not feeling good about your body, about your confidence, about who you are. Like, I can't picture that because of who stands in front of me. And at the time, I was kind of like, yeah, I've done some work and I feel better, but I still felt like there's so much more to do. I felt like I was scratching the surface on feeling good in my skin. And it's kind of like I got a little bit of addicted to feeling good in my skin, which I think is a great thing to feel addicted to. Like, it's like, okay, finally, I'm not leaning into and feeling almost addicted to these negative cycles, this negative self-talk, these negative behaviors. I'm now starting to feel like, fuck yeah, I feel good. I want to keep feeling good. I want to do more things to feel even better. And oh my God, I didn't realize that this level of feeling good was possible. I want to feel if there's another level to this. Can I go even further? And so I was very much in like you can probably still read some of the pain on my face. You can probably still figure out where I was coming from, right? And for her to say, I can't even tell that you've been hurt because you seem so moved on, was wild for me to hear. And I couldn't believe that somebody could see me in that capacity at that level. And this even happened a few weeks ago when my parents were in town. My mom was kind of sharing some of the ways that some of my friends talk about me, or the way that she could feel that they feel about me. And hearing that people feel like I'm strong, people are impressed by me, people are inspired in some ways about who I am, how I hold myself, and how I try to be both there for me and there for others. It was another reminder that you have no idea the impact or how people see you, right? You have no idea that someone seeing you carry all that weight and then lessen it and take some of that weight off your shoulders and take more of that weight off your shoulders and become lighter and brighter and more confident. You have no idea who is going to see that and go, if they can do it, so can I. Or you have no idea that they'll say, I can't believe that they went through a heartbreak just like I did. similar circumstances and they feel that way. Well, I don't feel that way. If they feel that way, then there must be something that they did that worked for them, which means that there must be something for me that works. I mean, it's the reason why I do this podcast at all. It's because I hope that something that I have done to improve upon myself, to gain my confidence back, to not feel like an absolute piece of shit who has no will to live. Like, in order to not be that and to be where I am now, to have a sliver of happiness, to have a sliver of hope, to have a sliver of a smile even, I hope so deep in my core that somebody else can see that that is a testament that if you believe and you want to change what your circumstances are or how you are feeling, you can fucking do it. It is hard, and there's no two ways around that. But you have no idea how you will inspire others and how you will impact others and how maybe your strength and courage will be the exact thing that they need to inspire their strength and courage. And you never know that. I mean, hell, I was wearing sports bras and leggings at the gym because I hated my body and I felt like I had to push myself to look at it and to show up at the gym in that, to eventually prove to myself that I could feel good in that I could feel good in my skin, and I could look in the mirror and look at that cute little set I'm putting on and feel cute in it and feel good in it and not want to hide from my own reflection. I never thought that posting gym selfies, which I thought was so cringe, I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I don't even like my body and the place that I'm in, and I don't feel good about it. But the only way to do it, it's like shock therapy. I'm like, the more shock to my system, the more it will be less shocking. And the more that I work on it, the more that I will be happy with the reflection, right? And it really had nothing to do with my actual physical body. I mean, the workouts didn't hurt, I'll tell you that. But it was like I could have changed my mindset simply by exposing myself. And okay, that sounds weird, but like, you know what I mean? Like exposing myself to those things that were hard for me. Making myself look at myself in the mirror, making myself wear an outfit that's supposed to be cute, that I would look at another gym girly and be like, oh my God, she looks so cute in that. Well, why can't I feel that way about myself, right? Why can't I do that? I never thought that posting that and that vulnerability, and maybe people didn't know that that's how I felt, but at the time, that's exactly how I felt. And I couldn't believe that it went so noticed to the point where somebody at the bar, when I had stopped posting them as consistently, said, oh, I see you haven't posted a gym selfie in a while. You've been my motivation to go to the gym. What? Me? Motivation? I had a friend who wasn't comfortable wearing those cute sets, wearing the sports bra in the gym, say to me, looking at your photos inspired me to go ahead and feel comfortable doing it. And that's something so small. Like the object of doing it or the desire to do it had nothing to do with anybody else noticing what I was doing, caring about what I was doing. I just cared that one day I would post a selfie and I would say, damn, I think I look good. I want to post this. I never thought it would so much so impact somebody else to want to feel comfortable in their skin, to want to take that step to do something that didn't feel comfortable, but now they feel comfortable because they see somebody else that they know do it. I never thought that would be the case. And now I've seen so many times, and I typically will hear it from friends. Like, I'll be honest, you'll probably hear most of this from your friends because those are the ones that see you consistently. Those are the ones that, really care and notice about you. So likely you'll probably hear it from your friends. And that will not only show you how you are impacting others, it will show you that you should keep going because progress is being made. You are leveling up. You are taking care of yourself. The self-love you are giving yourself is showing up on the outside. It is showing up the way that you speak to other people, the way that people notice that you speak about yourself. I mean, fuck, I used to make so many self-deprecating jokes. And now I don't as much. Every now and again, I do love one, but it's also because I know it's not how I feel about myself anymore. So nobody takes it seriously. But before I would have friends be like, you good? I mean, like, you kind of make fun of yourself like a lot. People notice that shit, and they also notice when I stop doing it. They're like, you're less sarcastic. Yeah, because I don't need to be. I don't need, a self-defense mechanism. I still love some sarcasm, but that's at my own choice, not this behavior that I adopted to not address the core wounds that I had. I definitely think there's a difference between wanting to exercise certain behaviors like humor, being sarcastic, those types of things, self-deprecating humor, things like that. There is a noticeable difference when somebody says it and they don't feel that way about themselves, so it is a joke. And there's definitely a difference when you see someone crack that joke and they ain't laughing because they don't feel that way and it's funny. They're laughing because they're hoping that nobody takes what they actually feel seriously. And it's just a deflection from what's truly going on inside. People notice how you talk about yourself. People notice how you talk to them. I am much kinder in my interactions, both with myself and with others, because I don't have as much pent up negativity. I don't have as much pent up anger for myself. And they say hurt people, right? I know that in my past, when I've felt depressed, when I've had depressive episodes, I've definitely said shit to people that should never have left my mouth, that I don't even think in reality. Don't think it at all. But when I'm angry with myself, where I stand, and I'm not addressing the actual pain that's in me, it shows up towards other people, whether on purpose or accidentally. And that's something that I hated doing. And so that's another impact on others. People can see when you are treating yourself better and ultimately treating them better. They can see how you dress better for yourself. It shows like you care about yourself. They can see that it feels like you love yourself in your outfit choices. And I'm not saying you got to get a new wardrobe and you got to start dressing nice. No, I'm saying that you might have gone from sweats only or shorts and large t-shirts to now maybe you do a little French tuck. Maybe you throw on a jacket. Maybe you experiment a little bit differently. Maybe you just look cleaner. Maybe it just looks more refined. Maybe it just looks like you washed your clothes. I don't know. But you can tell those sort of things. You can see externally a lot of progress that you might not think that you see. And I hope that at those times that you're feeling like, oh, I don't know if I'm making a difference internally. I don't know if I'm making progress. I don't know if I can tell, let alone if anybody else can tell that this is working. I hope that in those moments, somebody reminds you, whether it be through their words, their actions, or some fucking sign from the universe, that you are meant to keep going because you have no idea the impact that you have both on yourself and on others. You have no idea if you will be the inspiration for your friend to make that change, or for that friend to feel comfortable with themselves, or for that friend to see you pick yourself back up and go, I can too. Or just honestly, for them to see how much you are loving yourself, to see your confidence. I mean, fuck. I just posted birthday photos and I could not have been feeling myself more, both from good company, good drinks, and good self-love. The trifecta to put you in a good mood to take photos, right? I could not believe the way some people responded. Like, I had a friend who was there with me and was like, you are glowing. And people can see that. People can see how much you love yourself. People can see. And the impact on others can also be when you set people free and let people into your lives that are going to recognize what you're doing, that are going to maybe need to be around someone like you who feel your confidence and then feel like they can feel confident. That shit oozes out. It helps other people. And damn, if there isn't a reason to do it for yourself, do it for others. Do it for that person who you have no idea that's watching, have no idea, that friend that needs to know that you can do it and so can they. We oftentimes have no idea what other people are going through. And obviously, if you're a close friend, you likely do, but you still might not know the depth of it. I mean, you might hear them talk about it, but might not feel that pain that they feel. Or maybe they're giving you 30, 40, 50% of that story of how they actually feel, but on the inside, they felt 50% more. I've definitely told friends when things upset me, bother me, but they might not see me crying about it. They might not see me overthinking about it. They might not see the impact that it had on me and how long that impact might have been. You don't see all of that all of the time. And so you have no idea that the work and the strength that it takes to do that work, how that will show up and show other people what they are capable of. Because if you are capable of it, so the fuck are they. And if you are feeling confident and you are, making your friends feel better, you're hyping them up. You're like, hell no, girl, you're not going to feel bad in that outfit. You look fantastic. That positive reinforcement for them also helps them with their confidence. I have never met a girl, specifically, I'm going to go with this as an example. I have never met a woman who has ever felt bad about being complimented, specifically on her outfit, her hair, her looks, her laugh, her smile, her beauty. Nobody's ever turning down a compliment. Okay, so maybe I should extend it further than women. I was going to go with women and their outfits because obviously I'm wrapped up in probably my birthday outfit from a few days ago. So that's where my mind is. But like, no one's going to turn down a compliment and be like, ugh, that shit's going to have an impact on them. Oh my God, I've had somebody say your smile is contagious. Man, I'm like clicking my heels for the rest of the day. Like, you never know who's going to need to see or feel or how your light is going to shine on others, how it's going to impact others, how it's going to make other people feel. Because the warmth that you start to feel will make other people feel warm. It's like you're lighting that fire within and you think that you're doing so much for yourself, right? And that fire gets bigger and bigger and you glow more and you glow further and you glow like exponentially, right? Well, all those that are around you are going to feel that warmth. They're going to feel that glow. They're going to start to feel like I can glow too. And that's what we want to see here, right? Because it can be so easy to feel like you are not making progress or to feel like nobody notices or to feel like, well, this isn't really going to change anything for me or anybody else. But yes, it is. It is going to show up so much and how other people see and feel you, the same way it's going to change how you see yourself and feel yourself. And I just want you to have that reassurance in those moments, in those tough points where you're like, I don't know if it's worth it, that somebody shows you that it's worth it. That somebody comes along and tells you the impact that you are making on them. So do it for yourself and do it for them as well, because we love the residual benefits. We love when somebody else can succeed, can feel confident, if it even means 30 seconds around you. We love that. We love the trickle down effect. Love, love, love that. So feel good about the progress that you are making, because you have no idea, truly no idea, how much it is impacting others. And I can tell you that what you hear about how it's impacting others is just the tip of the iceberg. I bet you there is more, and there's probably people who will never say it to you who feel like you have impacted them in a positive way. So it is very much worth it to keep going for yourself and for others. All right, guys. With that, say it with me. I'm a fucking baddie. All right. Love y'all till next time.